Today I have to prepare for my yearly service on the boat. What that requires is to change the oil, to change the rake course, check the generator out, electrical components on the boat that pertain to the engine, throttles, all that stuff. To check all that stuff out, and there's quite a few more things that have to be checked out because you want to have, you want to do preventive maintenance before something happens. Now on a boat, something's always going to go wrong, but at least if you do your yearly or your annual maintenance, changing your impellers and all that type of stuff, then you can prevent, or at least you can kind of prevent unnecessary things from happening, put it that way. you know so what I'm gonna have to do is kind of prep the boat a little bit, because when the mechanics come, I don't want them to mess up my flooring on the boat with dirty feet. That's one of the things that you'll notice with both boat owners. They'll tell you that they prefer you to not come on the boat with shoes. And so since I have some kind of nice decking down, I want to make sure that the decking stays nice looking, just like any other boat owner. So I'm going to take care of that by putting some cardboard down. And this cardboard I'm going to use to just cover the floors. Kind of where the engine compartment is, it's under this seat right here. And so this whole thing lifts up. And there are two big diesel engines down there. And so they have to service each engine. Make sure all the components are working smoothly. And as I said, change out the necessary fluids. There's also a transmission service that they do as well, changing the transmissions. Each engine has its own transmission. And so on my boat, I have Volvo Pentas with ZF, what they call ZF transmissions. So I'm gonna have to get this cardboard and line it on the floor, so when the guy's stepping on the boat, like you can see there's some cardboard there, so when the guy's stepping on the boat, that he does not track grime and potential oils or grease onto the floor. So before I do that, I'm going to go inside the cabin for a minute, inside the salon for a minute. And we're going to talk about a few things. Turn some lights on in here. Cabin, forward, aft. One thing you'll notice, you probably can hear it, the AC is blowing inside the boat. The reason why I actually leave the AC units on is because boats collect a lot of moisture when they're just sitting. Very, very high humidity inside of boats. It's a little messy in here right now. And so you have to keep the AC unit on, because if you don't, you'll have a very smelly, damp, musty smelling boat. Mold can occur, and you don't want to be sitting in here breathing inside of a moldy cabin. As a matter of fact, I just take you guys through a little small tour since we're already inside the boat. This is on bigger boats. This would be the VIP cabin, but on a 42 like this one, most of your 42s, there's the master cabin is forward, and this is the master cabin. And as you can see, it has a TV, a closet, and closet right there, another closet. They call it a hanging locker, where you keep your ooh, let me shut that. Wife hasn't cleaned up, but you know, she keeps her clothes in here. You see that, and she keeps other doodads in there in the other one. And of course you have other lockers that you can put blankets and stuff. There's another section under the bed. You have drawers right here. And move into the aft cabin. So besides the engine maintenance, the annual engines and mechanical maintenance of a boat, there's also the exterior maintenance that you have to be concerned with, the cleaning of the bottom of the boat. Every 30 days the bottom has to be cleaned for barnacles and stuff that stick to the bottom of the boat, because that actually affects the efficiency, the fuel efficiency of the boat, if it's too much stuff hanging around under the boat, you know. And then you have the props that have to be cleaned and serviced. I would say every few months, but some people do the props, clean the props and stuff when they paint the bottom of their boats once a year. But I don't agree with that. I kind of like to check my props and have them at least when they're doing the bottom of the boat, cleaning the bottom of the boat, check the props out, and if they need some cleaning, you know, do that as well. There's also the boat has to be properly grounded, and there's some devices that are called zincs that they put on the bottom of the boat, near the rear and different places on the boat, and they help the boat from shorting out. You know, it's complicated, a little complicated for me to explain, but just to make a long story short, you know, the zincs are made to make sure that the boat never shorts out. So other maintenance issues are, besides that stuff, is actually just cleaning the boat, that top side of the boat, and that's a chore in itself. This isn't exactly a small boat. It isn't the biggest boat, but it isn't exactly a small boat either, and it's a lot to clean it. So sometimes I clean it, you know, as good as I can, but a lot of times I hire a guy to come around that happens to be in my marina, has one of these little portable things that look like a little floating dock that he stands on, and he goes around the boat and he washes the outside of the boat, and then he comes onto the boat top side and cleans up the bow, and then the stern. The bow is the front of the boat, the stern is the back of the boat, and he cleans up the insides of the boat. And so, you know, it's a time consuming chore. You're talking about a few hours, you know, just, you know, if you're going to clean the boat decent. You know, and then we're talking about keeping your gel coat up, and you know, that requires some buffing and you know, compound, and then polishing, stuff like that. So it's a lot of little components, and we're not even talking about the inside of the cabin. You know, my cabin has carpet on the floor in for the most part, and then a little wood on the floor, and you know, keeping the bed spreads clean, or the pillows, you know, all that stuff, keeping all that stuff clean. You know, basic stuff you would do at home, keeping the portholes, which are the windows. You can probably see them in the back of me, some of them in the back of me, you know, keeping those things clean. So, you know, it's quite a bit maintaining a boat, and it can get pretty expensive if you're going to have other people do it for you, which, you know, the bigger you get, the harder it gets. The bigger the boat, I mean, the the harder it gets to clean it yourself. So, you know, that's when you gotta shell out a few dollars to do that as well. You know, and you know, boating is not cheap. You know, they say the boat means break out another thousand, and and every turn around, trust me, you're breaking out another thousand. But you know, it has its downsides. You know, everything is has a downside, and that's one of the some of the downsides of having a boat. There's always something wrong on the boat. There's always something breaks. So it doesn't matter whether you got an older boat or a newer boat. Even the newer boats, you're gonna have something that's gonna go wrong, and so you're gonna be breaking out another thousand either way it goes. But you know, but the reward of enjoyment of the ocean and just travel